The warning alarm cut through the quiet hum of the monitoring station like a knife. Officer Vell looked up from his data pad, his blue skin turning pale as he read the display. Something big was moving through the neutral zone. "Captain Rex," Vell called out, his voice shaking slightly. "We have a problem." Captain Rex walked over to the main screen, his heavy boots making sharp sounds on the metal floor. He was a large man with gray hair and scars on his hands from many battles. Rex had been watching the borders of Council space for 15 years. He knew trouble when he saw it. "What is it?" Rex asked, looking at the red dot on the screen. "Unknown ship, sir. It appeared on our sensors 10 minutes ago. No transponder signal, no response to our calls." Vell's fingers moved quickly over his console. "The ship is, strange, sir." Rex watched the dot move across the screen. It didn't fly like normal ships. Normal ships moved in straight lines from point A to point B. This ship curved and twisted, sometimes stopping for no reason, then moving fast in a new direction. "How big?" Rex asked. "Large, sir. Maybe a colony ship or heavy freighter. But the energy readings are all wrong. The ship should be dead with those power levels. But it's still moving." Rex felt something cold in his stomach. In his 15 years of patrol duty, he had learned to trust that feeling. It had kept him alive through pirate attacks and space storms. "Send a message to Council Command," Rex ordered. "Tell them we're investigating. Prep the boarding shuttle. I want a full security team." "Sir, maybe we should wait for backup," Vell said quietly. Rex looked at the alien officer. Vell was young, and still believed the galaxy was a safe place. Rex knew better. The galaxy was full of dark corners where bad things happened to good people. "No time," Rex said. "If that ship has people on it, they might need help. If it's hostile, we need to know now." 2 hours later, Rex sat in the boarding shuttle with 5 security officers. The pilot, a woman named Kate, flew them toward the strange ship. Through the front window, Rex could see their target. The ship was huge and covered in scars. Burns from energy weapons marked its hull like old wounds. Parts of the ship looked like they had been rebuilt with different materials. Some sections were darker than others, as if they had been added later. "It's a human ship," said Officer Mike, looking at his scanner. "Old design, maybe 40 years old, but the modifications, I've never seen anything like this." Rex studied the ship through binoculars. The human ship looked like it had been through hell and survived. But survived into what? "No response to our calls, sir," Kate reported. "The ship isn't trying to run or fight. It's just waiting." "Waiting for what?" Rex muttered. The shuttle moved closer to the human ship's docking bay. Kate was a good pilot, but even she seemed nervous as they approached. The docking bay was dark. No lights, no guide beams, no signs of life. "Looks abandoned," Mike said. Rex shook his head. "Nothing's abandoned out here. Something's keeping that ship moving." They docked with a soft thud. Rex checked his weapon and breathing gear. The other officers did the same. "In space, you always expected the worst. Remember," Rex told his team. "We don't know what we're walking into. Stay together. Watch each other's backs. If something feels wrong, speak up." The airlock opened with a hiss. The corridor beyond was dark except for a few emergency lights. The air smelled wrong. Not bad, just different. Like metal and old electronics, and something else Rex couldn't identify. They moved into the ship in formation. Rex led with Mike and 2 other officers behind him. Kate stayed with the shuttle in case they needed to leave quickly. The corridors were wider than normal ship corridors, but parts of the walls had been rebuilt. Cables and pipes ran along the ceiling in patterns that didn't match any ship design Rex knew. Some areas were so dark their lights couldn't reach the end. "Power's on minimal," Mike reported, checking his scanner. "Life support is working, but barely. Temperature is cold, really cold." They found the first sign of life 20 meters into the ship, or rather signs of life. Food wrappers, empty water containers, and tools scattered around. But everything looked old, used many times. "Someone's been living here," Rex said quietly. But where are they? They kept moving deeper into the ship. Each corridor led to more corridors. Each room they checked was empty but showed signs of use. Beds with thin blankets, work areas with strange tools, storage rooms with supplies Rex didn't recognize. Sir, one of the officers called out. Look at this. Rex walked over to where Officer Tom was standing. On the wall was a piece of paper with writing on it. The words were in basic human script, but the message was strange. The deep teaches us. The deep keeps us. The deep makes us strong. Speak soft or don't speak at all. Loud things die first. What does that mean? Tom asked. Rex didn't answer. He was starting to understand that they weren't on an abandoned ship. They were on a ship where people had learned to live differently. They found more messages as they explored. Some were scratched into the metal walls. Others were written on scraps of paper and cloth. All of them talked about silence, about the deep, about learning to survive in the dark. Children of the void fear nothing. We are the space between stars. Silence is our weapon. As they moved deeper into the ship, Rex noticed something that made his skin crawl. They were being followed. Not by sounds or voices, but by the feeling of being watched. Sometimes he caught movement in his peripheral vision, but when he turned to look, nothing was there. Sir, Mike whispered. My scanner is picking up movement, but I can't see anything. Mine too, Tom added. It's like there are people moving, parallel to us, but in the walls or something. Rex stopped the team. In the quiet, he could hear the ship around them. But it wasn't just the normal sounds of engines and life support. There were other sounds. Soft scraping, quiet tapping, like coded messages being sent through the ship's structure. They know we're here, Rex said quietly. Who? Mike asked. Whoever lives on this ship. They're watching us, learning about us. The team kept moving, but now they all felt it. Eyes in the darkness. Shadows that moved when they shouldn't. The sense that they were not exploring the ship. The ship was exploring them. They reached what looked like a main corridor. It was wider than the others and led toward the ship's center. Emergency lights created pools of dim red light every few meters, leaving most of the corridor in darkness. Motion sensors are going crazy, Mike reported. But I still can't see anyone. That's when Rex heard it. A sound so quiet he almost missed it. Breathing. Not one person, but several people, breathing in perfect rhythm. It was coming from all around them. Hello, Rex called out, his voice echoing in the corridor. We're from the Galactic Council. We're here to help. The breathing stopped. The silence that followed was complete and terrifying. Not even the ship's engines made noise. It was as if the entire vessel was holding its breath, waiting. Then, from somewhere in the darkness ahead came a voice. It was human, female, and young. But it carried in the silence like it was designed for these corridors. Help? The voice said. We don't need help. We are help. We are what happens when help doesn't come. Rex felt every muscle in his body tense. This wasn't a rescue mission anymore. This was something else entirely. We are the children who learned to live where life shouldn't exist, the voice continued. We are the generation that fear sits in silence. And you are very loud. In the darkness ahead, Rex could see shapes moving. Human shapes, but wrong somehow. They moved too smoothly, too quietly, like they were part of the ship itself. We've been waiting for visitors, the voice said. It's been so long since we had guests. Come deeper. Come see what we've become. Rex looked at his team. They were all scared, but they were good officers. They would follow him wherever he decided to go. The question was, were they walking into a rescue operation, or were they walking into a trap set by something that used to be human? In the darkness ahead, the shapes continued to move, and Rex realized they had no choice but to find out. Rex made his decision. We go forward, he whispered to his team. But stay alert. Something's not right here. The shapes in the darkness didn't move closer, but they didn't disappear either. They stayed just at the edge of the light, watching. Rex could feel their eyes on him as his team moved deeper into the ship. The corridor opened into a large room that might have been a cargo bay once. Now it looked like something between a workshop and a living space. Strange devices hung from the ceiling. Screens showed star maps and ship schematics, but everything was modified, changed, made into something new. "Welcome to our home," the voice said again. A figure stepped into the light. Rex's breath caught in his throat. It was a young woman, maybe 25 years old, but she looked wrong. Her skin was pale, almost white. Her hair was long and colorless. Her eyes were large and seemed to glow slightly in the dim light. She wore clothes made from ship materials, metal fabric and recycled plastics. Her feet were bare, and Rex noticed her toes were longer than normal, almost like fingers. "My name is Kira," she said. "I speak for the family." "Family?" Rex asked. More figures moved into the light. Men and women, all young, all with the same pale skin and strange eyes. Some were clearly adults, others looked like teenagers. All of them moved with the same smooth, quiet grace. "We are all family here," Kira said. "We had to become family to survive." Mike raised his scanner toward the group. "Sir, I'm reading 37 life signs on this ship. All human, but the readings are strange." "Strange how?" Rex asked, not taking his eyes off Kira. "Lower body temperature, slower heart rates. It's like they're in some kind of hibernation state, but they're awake and moving." Kira smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. "We learned to use less. Less air, less food, less heat, less energy. The ship taught us." "What ship is this?" Rex asked. "How long have you been out here?" Kira's expression changed. For a moment she looked sad. "This is the Wanderer. We've been out here for 25 years. Rex felt his stomach drop. 25 years was a long time to be lost in space. "Are you the original crew?" "Some of us," Kira said. "I was 8 when we got lost. Most of us were children then, the adults. They didn't adapt as well." She gestured to the walls around them. Rex looked closer and saw what he had missed before. Names were carved into the metal, hundreds of names with dates next to them. "The adults tried to fix the ship," Kira continued. "They tried to send distress signals. They tried to find their way home. But space is big, and we were alone. One by one, they gave up. They died of sadness, of sickness, of broken hearts." Rex read some of the names on the wall. All the dates were from 15 to 20 years ago. "All of them?" "All of them," Kira confirmed. "But we didn't give up. We couldn't. We were children. We didn't know giving up was an option." Another figure stepped forward. This one was male, maybe 30 years old. Like Kira, he had the same pale skin and strange eyes. "I'm Ben," he said. "I was 12 when the ship broke. I watched my parents die. I watched everyone's parents die. But the ship kept us alive." "How?" Rex asked. Ben smiled. "We learned to listen. The ship talks to you if you know how to hear it. It tells you where the problems are, where the food is, where the danger is." The adults were too loud to hear it. Rex was starting to understand. These people hadn't just survived on a broken ship. They had become part of it. "The ship's computer has records," Mike said, checking his device. "The Wanderer was a colony ship heading for the Kepler system. They had engine failure 25 years ago. There were 847 people on board." 847, Kira repeated. "Now there are 37. We are what's left. We are what grew from what was left." Rex looked around the room again. Everything he saw was modified, changed, improved. These people hadn't just survived. They had evolved. "The first years were hard," Ben said. "We were just children trying to keep a huge ship running. We made mistakes. We lost people. But we learned." "What did you learn?" Rex asked. "We learned that noise brings danger," Kira said. "We learned that the dark is safer than the light. We learned that if you move quietly and watch carefully, you can survive anything." A younger voice spoke from the shadows. "We learned that the empty space between stars isn't empty at all." A boy stepped into the light. He couldn't be more than 16, but he moved with the same quiet confidence as the adults. "This is Tom," Kira said. "He was born on the ship. He's never seen a planet." Rex stared at the boy. Tom's skin was even paler than the others. His eyes were larger, adapted for the dim light of the ship. His fingers were long and thin, perfect for working in small spaces. "I've never breathed real air," Tom said proudly. "I've never felt gravity stronger than what the ship gives us. The spaces between stars are my home." "Show them," Ben said quietly. Tom nodded and walked to the wall. He placed his hands on the metal surface and closed his eyes. After a moment, he began to move his fingers in a pattern. Rex realized he was tapping on the wall, but the taps were making sounds throughout the entire ship. "He's talking to the ship," Kira explained. "The hull carries vibrations. We can send messages anywhere on the ship this way. It's faster than the communication system, and it doesn't use power." Tom opened his eyes and smiled. "The engine section says hello. So do the people in the gardens, and the watchers in the outer sections." "Watchers?" Rex asked. "We always have people watching the outside," Ben explained. "Looking for danger, looking for opportunities. We've learned that everything that moves in space can be useful if you know how to catch it." Rex felt a chill. "What kind of things do you catch?" Kira's smile became cold. "Pirates mostly. Slavers. People who hurt others. People who think they can take things from the weak." "What do you do with them?" Rex asked, though he was afraid of the answer. "We make them useful," Tom said simply. "Their ships become parts for our ship. Their supplies become our supplies. They become part of the ship too." Rex realized what he was hearing. These people weren't just survivors. They were predators. "You're pirates," Mike said, his hand moving toward his weapon. "No," Kira said firmly. "Pirates take from the innocent. We take from those who take from others. We are balance. We are what happens when children learn that adults can't protect them." Ben moved closer. Rex noticed that all the humans in the room had shifted positions slightly. They were surrounding Rex's team, but they did it so smoothly that it looked natural. "For 20 years we've been cleaning up the dark corners of space," Ben said. "Every slaver who thought they could hide in the deep. Every pirate who thought the empty areas were safe. Every criminal who ran to where they thought no law could reach them. They all learned the same lesson." "Which is?" Rex asked. "The deep isn't empty," Kira said. "It's full of children who grew up without fear. Children who learned that the galaxy is not safe and decided to make themselves the most dangerous thing in it." Tom walked over to a control panel and touched it. The lights in the room dimmed, and images appeared on the screens around them. Ships, dozens of different ships, all destroyed or captured. "These are the ones who thought they could hide in our space," Tom said. "They were wrong." Rex looked at the images. Some of the ships he recognized. Pirate vessels that had been reported missing, slaver ships that had vanished without a trace. All destroyed by these strange humans who had grown up in the dark. "We've been watching you since you entered our territory," Kira said. "Your ship, your crew, your intentions. You're not pirates or slavers. You're trying to help people. That's unusual." "We're council peacekeepers," Rex said. "It's our job to help." "Help." Kira repeated the word like it was foreign. "We remember help. Adults used to promise help was coming. Rescue ships were coming. The council was coming. Help never came." "We're here now," Rex said. Kira looked at him for a long moment. "Yes, you are. The question is, what do we do with you?" The room fell silent. Rex could feel the weight of 37 pairs of eyes on him and his team. These people had survived 25 years in the void. They had become something new, something dangerous. And now they had to decide whether Rex and his team were friends or threats. In the silence, Rex could hear the ship around them. But now he understood what he was hearing. It wasn't just machines. It was the sound of a living thing breathing quietly in the dark between stars. The Wanderer wasn't just a ship anymore. It was a creature. And these humans weren't just its crew. They were its children. The silence stretched for what felt like hours. Rex could feel his heart beating loud in his chest. Around him, his team waited for his signal. The pale humans watched them with those strange, glowing eyes. Finally, Kira spoke. "You carry weapons." It wasn't a question. Rex looked down at his sidearm. "Standard equipment. We don't know what we might find out here." "Fear," Ben said simply. "You carry weapons because you're afraid." "Smart people are afraid sometimes," Rex replied. "Fear keeps you alive?" Tom laughed. It was a quiet sound like wind through metal. "We were afraid once. When we were small and the adults were dying, when the food ran low and the air recyclers broke, when we didn't know if tomorrow would come." "What changed?" Mike asked. "We realized fear was useless," Kira said. "Fear doesn't fix broken engines. Fear doesn't find food in empty storage rooms. Fear doesn't keep you warm when the heat fails." She walked closer to Rex. He noticed she didn't make any sound when she moved, even on the metal floor. "So we stopped being afraid," she continued. "We started being something else." "What?" Rex asked. "We became the thing others should fear." Another human stepped out of the shadows. This one was older, maybe 40. Unlike the others, he had scars on his face and arms. Deep ones. "This is David," Kira said. "He remembers the old world better than most of us." David nodded at Rex. "I was 15 when we got lost. Old enough to remember Earth. Old enough to remember thinking the galaxy was a safe place for humans." "It's not?" Rex asked. David's laugh was bitter. "Look around you, Councilman. You patrol the safe spaces, the trade routes, the colony worlds. But out here, in the deep, humans are prey. We're soft. We're slow. We're loud. Every other species in the galaxy knows it." "That's not true," Mike protested. "Isn't it?" Ben asked. "How many human ships go missing every year? How many colonies get raided? How many humans get sold in slave markets?" Rex didn't answer because he knew the numbers. They were bad. "The galaxy taught us what we really are," David continued. "Food for predators, resources to be harvested, playthings for those stronger than us. So we decided to change the lesson," Kira said. She walked to one of the screens and touched it. New images appeared. These weren't destroyed ships. These were recordings, security footage from inside ships. Rex watched in horror as pale figures moved through corridors. But these weren't the same corridors they were standing in now. "This was 3 months ago," Kira explained. "A slaver ship, 23 humans in cages, children mostly." On the screen, Rex watched as the pale figures moved through the ship like ghosts. They didn't run or shout or fight with weapons. They just moved, silent and deadly. The ship's lights went out section by section. The slavers tried to fight, but they were fighting shadows. "You killed them all," Rex said quietly. "Yes," Tom said proudly. "But we saved the humans. The children are safe now." "Where are they?" Rex asked. "Some chose to stay with us," Kira said. "Others we took to safe colonies. We give them the choice we never had." The screen changed to show another ship. This one was bigger, more heavily armed. "This was last month," Ben said. "Pirates. They attacked a medical supply convoy. Killed the crew and took the medicine to sell on the black market." Rex watched as the same thing happened. The pale humans moved through the pirate ship like they were part of it. The pirates fought back with everything they had. Energy weapons, explosives, even poison gas. Nothing worked. "How do you do it?" Mike asked, his voice shaking slightly. "We learned from the ship," Tom explained. "How to move in zero gravity. How to use the environment as a weapon. How to fight without making noise. We learned from the dark," Kira added. "How to see without light. How to hear heartbeats through metal walls. How to smell fear in recycled air." David walked over to the wall and placed his hand on it. "We learned from hunger. How to go without food for weeks. How to slow our hearts to save energy. How to make our bodies use everything, waste nothing." "You're not human anymore," Rex said. The room went completely silent. Rex realized he had said something dangerous. Not human. Kira's voice was very quiet, but it carried perfectly through the room. I didn't mean, Rex started. No, you're right, Ben interrupted. We're not the kind of human you know. We're not soft colony humans or safe station humans or protected council humans. We're void humans, Tom said. Deep humans. We're what humans become when they have to really survive. Kira walked back to Rex. This time he could see something, predatory in the way she moved, like a big cat stalking prey. Do you know what we learned in 25 years of fighting for our lives? She asked. Rex shook his head. We learned that humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy, but only when we stop pretending to be civilized. The lights in the room dimmed further. Rex's team moved closer together, but he could see they were completely surrounded now. The pale humans had moved without him noticing, taking positions all around the room. The other species think they know humans, David said. They think we're weak because we build peaceful colonies. They think we're slow because we make careful plans. They think we're harmless because we have laws and ethics and try to be good. But they never met humans who grew up without laws, Ben added. Humans who learned that ethics are a luxury you can't afford when you're dying. Humans who discovered that being good doesn't keep you alive. Tom was now standing near the control panel. Rex noticed that the boy's fingers were moving in patterns over the controls, but he wasn't pressing anything. He was just touching the ship. We don't just live on this ship, Tom said. We are part of it. It feels what we feel. We feel what it feels. When something threatens the ship, it threatens us. When something threatens us, it threatens the ship. Show them, Kira said. Tom pressed his palms flat against the control panel. The ship around them changed. Rex felt it in his bones. The gravity shifted slightly. The air became thinner. The temperature dropped. The ship has weapons, Tom said. But the ship is a weapon. Every system, every corridor, every room can be turned into a trap. We don't fight inside the ship. We let the ship fight for us. Rex's breathing gear started working harder. The air was getting thinner. Around him, his team was starting to look worried. But the pale humans breathed normally, like nothing had changed. Stop, Rex said. Tom looked at Kira. She nodded, and he took his hands off the controls. The ship returned to normal. That was just a taste, Kira said. We can make the air unbreathable. We can change the gravity to crush you or make you float helplessly. We can heat the metal until it burns you or freeze it until it breaks your bones. Why are you showing us this? Rex asked. Because you need to understand, David said. We're not victims anymore. We're not the weak humans hiding in the safe parts of space. We're something new. We're the humans who live in the deep, Ben added. We're the humans who hunt the hunters. We're the humans who make the monsters afraid. Kira stepped very close to Rex. He could see himself reflected in her strange pale eyes. For 25 years we've been cleaning the dark corners of the galaxy, she said. Every predator that thought humans were easy prey. Every slaver that thought we were good merchandise. Every pirate that thought our ships were treasure boxes. They all learned they were wrong. And now you know too, Tom said. The deep isn't safe anymore. Not for those who hurt humans. Because we're watching. We're waiting. And we never forget. Rex realized that these people weren't just survivors. They weren't just predators. They were something entirely new. Humans who had been forged by the void into something the galaxy had never seen before. And they were offering him a choice. What do you want from us? Rex asked. Kira smiled, and for the first time it looked almost human. We want you to take a message back to your council, she said. Tell them the empty spaces aren't empty anymore. Tell them there are humans in the deep who remember every crime, every attack, every human who disappeared. And tell them, David added, that we're coming for everyone who thought humans were prey. The room fell silent again. But this time, Rex understood the silence. It wasn't empty. It was full of promise and threat, and the patient hunger of predators who had learned to wait. Outside the ship, the void stretched endlessly in all directions. But now Rex knew it wasn't empty at all. It was full of humans who had become something else entirely, something the galaxy would have to learn to fear. Rex looked around the room at the pale faces watching him. His team was scared. He could see it in their eyes. But he was their captain. Whatever decision he made would affect all of them. "You want us to carry a message," Rex said slowly. "What if we refuse?" Kira tilted her head like she was thinking about a difficult question. "Then you don't leave." "You'd kill council officers?" Mike asked, his hand moving toward his weapon. "Kill?" Tom laughed quietly. "We don't kill people who aren't hunting us. But the deep is big. Accidents happen. Ships break down. People get lost." David stepped forward. "Or maybe you stay here and learn. Maybe you become part of the family." "It's happened before." "What do you mean?" Rex asked. Ben walked to another control panel and touched it. The screen showed a different part of the ship. In it, Rex could see more people working. These ones looked different. Newer clothes, darker, skin, normal eyes. "Survivors," Ben explained. "People we saved from pirates and slavers. Some choose to stay. Some choose to learn our ways." "They become like you?" Rex asked. "Some do," Kira said. "The ship changes people. If you live here long enough, if you really understand what survival means, you start to change too." "How?" Mike asked. Tom walked over to Mike and stood very close. Too close. Mike took a step back, but Tom followed. "Your body learns," Tom said. "It learns to use less air, less food, less heat. Your eyes learn to see in the dark. Your ears learn to hear through metal. Your mind learns to be quiet, to move without thinking, to kill without feeling." Mike's hand was on his weapon now. "Stay back." "Mike," Rex warned. "Don't." But Mike was scared, and scared people do stupid things. He pulled his weapon and pointed it at Tom. The room exploded into motion. Rex had been a soldier for 20 years. He had fought in 3 wars and dozens of battles. He thought he understood combat. But what happened next was unlike anything he had ever seen. The pale humans didn't run or duck or shout warnings. They simply moved. In 1 second, Mike was pointing a weapon at Tom. In the next second, Mike was on the ground. His weapon was gone, and Tom was standing over him with a smile. Rex hadn't even seen what happened. None of his team had. The movement was too fast, too smooth, too perfect. "How?" Rex whispered. "We learned to fight in 3 dimensions," Kira explained calmly. "Most people think in terms of floor and ceiling, left and right. But in space, there is no up or down. There is only forward and back, close and far." Tom helped Mike to his feet and handed him back his weapon. Mike took it with shaking hands. "Also," Tom added, "we've been watching you since you came on board. We know how you move, how you think, how you fight. You couldn't surprise us if you tried." "But we don't want to fight you," David said. "Fighting is for enemies. You're not our enemies. Yet." Rex realized something important. These people weren't threatening them. They were teaching them, showing them what they could do, proving their point. "What do you want us to understand?" Rex asked. Kira walked to the center of the room. "We want you to understand what the galaxy really is. Come." She led them out of the room and down another corridor. This one was different from the others. The walls were covered in pictures, drawings, paintings, photographs. All of them showed humans, families, children, workers, soldiers. Normal humans living normal lives. "These are the people we save," Kira said. "The ones we rescue from pirates, the ones we free from slave ships, the ones we protect." They walked past hundreds of pictures. Rex recognized some of the faces from missing person reports, people who had vanished and were presumed dead. "They're alive?" Rex asked. "The ones we could save," Ben said. "The ones we reached in time." They came to another section of wall. This one was covered in different pictures. Ships, space stations, even planets. But all of these pictures had red marks on them. Crosses, circles, lines through them. "These are the ones we couldn't save," David said quietly. The places where we arrived too late. The ships that were already destroyed. The stations that were already empty. Rex looked at the pictures. There were thousands of them. So many. Mike whispered. The galaxy is big, Tom said. And we're only one ship, but we're learning, we're growing, and we're teaching others. Teaching what? Rex asked. Teaching them that humans don't have to be victims, Kira replied. They reached the end of the corridor. Here, there was a large window looking out into space. But this wasn't like the windows on Rex's ship. This one was huge, and the view was perfect. Rex could see stars, nebulae, and the endless dark between them. Beautiful, isn't it? Kira said. It's empty, Mike replied. No, Tom said. It's full of possibilities, full of places to hide, full of ways to hunt, full of room to become something new. Rex stared out at the void. He was starting to understand how these people thought. To them, empty space wasn't empty. It was home. We want to show you something else, David said. He led them to a door Rex hadn't noticed. When it opened, Rex saw that it led to another ship, a smaller one attached to the Wanderer like a parasite. This was a pirate vessel, Ben explained as they walked through it. They attacked a family transport last year, killed everyone except the children. They were planning to sell the kids. The pirate ship had been completely gutted. Everything useful had been removed and integrated into the Wanderer, but there were still signs of what had happened. Blast marks on the walls, dried blood on the floors. What happened to the pirates? Rex asked. They learned what happens when you hurt children, Tom said simply. They walked through more attached ships. Each one told a story. Slavers who had been caught with cargo holds full of prisoners. Pirates who had attacked medical supplies. Criminals who had thought the deep was safe for their crimes. This is why the galaxy fears us, Kira said. Not because we're strong, not because we're fast, but because we remember every crime, every victim, every injustice. And we never forgive, David added. They returned to the main ship. Rex's head was spinning with everything he had seen. These people had created something that was part home, part weapon, part memorial to human suffering. Now do you understand? Kira asked. I understand that you've become vigilantes, Rex said. We've become necessary, Ben corrected. The Council has laws. We have procedures. We can't just hunt down criminals without trials, without evidence, without giving them a chance to escape? Tom interrupted. Without letting them hurt more people while you fill out paperwork? Rex started to argue, but Kira held up a hand. Tell me, Captain Rex, she said. How many reports of missing humans cross your desk every month? Rex thought about it. Too many. How many do you find alive? Rex's silence was answer enough. We find them alive, Tom said. Because we don't wait for permission. We don't follow procedures, we just go and save them. By killing their captors, Mike pointed out. Yes, Kira said without hesitation. By killing people who steal and sell human beings like animals. By destroying ships that attack medical convoys. By eliminating threats that your council is too slow or too scared to handle. Rex realized that he couldn't argue with their results. These people had saved hundreds of lives. They had eliminated dozens of criminal organizations. They had made the deep space safer for everyone. But the cost? What happens to the children you save? Rex asked. The ones who stay here? Kira's expression softened slightly. They heal, they learn, they become strong. They become like you, Rex said. They become what they need to become to survive, David replied. Tom walked over to the window and looked out at the stars. The galaxy is changing, Captain Rex. Humans are spreading farther into space, into places where the Council can't protect them, into places where the old rules don't work. Someone has to protect them, Ben said. Someone has to be what the galaxy forces us to be. Monsters? Rex asked. If that's what it takes, Kira replied. The room fell silent. Outside the window, the stars shone cold and distant. Rex thought about all the reports on his desk, all the missing people, all the crimes that happened in the spaces between the safe worlds. Maybe these people were right. Maybe the galaxy needed monsters to fight monsters. But that didn't make it any easier to accept what they had become, or what they were asking him to become part of. Rex stood at the window for a long time, looking out at the stars. His team waited behind him, unsure what their captain was thinking. The pale humans waited too, patient as predators. Finally, Rex turned around. "I need to see more," he said. Kira raised an eyebrow. "More of what?" "Everything. If I'm going to carry your message back to the council, I need to understand what you really are." David smiled. "That's the first smart thing you've said since you came aboard." Kira led them deeper into the ship, to areas Rex hadn't seen before. They passed through sections that looked like workshops, laboratories, even small farms. The ship was completely self-sufficient. "How big is this ship really?" Mike asked. "Big enough," Tom replied, "and growing." They came to a section that made Rex stop and stare. It looked like a classroom, but unlike any classroom he had ever seen. The walls were covered with star charts, ship designs, and what looked like battle plans. Children sat at workstations, but they weren't learning normal subjects. "This is where we teach the young ones," Ben explained. Rex watched as a girl who couldn't be more than 12 worked on what looked like a weapon design. Another child, maybe 10 years old, was studying the weak points of different ship hulls. "What are they learning?" Rex asked. "How to survive," the 12-year-old girl answered without looking up. "How to hunt. How to protect our family." "She's Emma," Kira said. "Her parents were killed by slavers 2 years ago. We found her in a cage, half dead from starvation." Emma looked up at Rex. Her eyes were still normal, not like the pale humans who had grown up on the ship. But there was something hard in them, something that hadn't been there when she was born. "The slavers thought I was weak because I was small," Emma said. "They learned they were wrong." "How?" Rex asked, though he wasn't sure he wanted to know. Emma smiled. It was not a child's smile. "I helped plan the attack that destroyed their ship. I suggested using the air vents to move through their vessel. I was the one who turned off their gravity at the right moment." Rex felt cold. This was a child talking about planning attacks like it was a game. "She's learning to be strong," Tom said proudly. "Learning to make sure no one can hurt her again." "She's learning to be a killer," Mike whispered. Emma heard him. "Yes," she said simply, "because killers don't get put in cages." They moved on to another section. This one was full of older teenagers, all working on different projects. Some were modifying weapons. Others were studying ship designs. A few were practicing moving silently through obstacle courses. "These are the ones who choose to stay," David explained. "The ones who decide that the deep is their home now." Rex watched as a boy about 16 moved through a complex maze without making any sound. His movements were perfect, fluid, like water flowing around obstacles. "How long did it take him to learn that?" Rex asked. 2 years, Kira replied. "He was slow. Most learn faster." "What happens to the ones who don't want to learn?" Rex asked. "We take them to safe places," Ben said. "Colonies where they can have normal lives. But most choose to stay. When you've seen what the galaxy really is, it's hard to go back to pretending it's safe." They came to the heart of the ship. Rex realized this was what used to be the main colony bay. But now it was something else entirely. It was a command center, a living space, and a shrine all at once. In the center was a massive holographic display showing the entire galaxy. But this wasn't like the maps Rex knew. This one showed things that weren't on any official chart. Hidden bases, secret routes, criminal organizations. "This is what we really do," Kira said. The display zoomed in on different sections. Rex could see markers for pirate bases, slaver routes, illegal mining operations. Hundreds of them. "The council knows about maybe half of these," David said. "And they can only act on a few of them because of politics, jurisdiction, red tape. We Act on all of them, Tom added. Rex studied the display. He recognized some of the locations, places where council ships had gone missing, areas where merchant vessels avoided traveling. How do you find them all? Rex asked. We listen, Emma said. She had followed them to the command center. The criminals talk to each other. They make plans. They brag about their successes. We hear everything. How? Tom walked to a control panel and touched it. The display changed to show communication networks, thousands of lines connecting different points in space. We tap into their networks, Tom explained. We monitor their communications, we track their movements, we know what they're planning before they do it. That's illegal, Mike protested. So is slavery, Kira replied. Rex continued studying the display. He could see patterns emerging. Trade, routes that criminals used, safe houses where they hid their stolen goods, even contacts within legitimate organizations. You have people inside the council, Rex realized. We have people everywhere, David said. People who believe that protecting humans is more important than following rules. Spies, Rex said. Friends, Kira corrected. People who send us information. People who warn us when criminals are planning something big. People who make sure we get there in time to help. Rex felt like the ground was shifting under his feet. These people had built an entire shadow organization. They had intelligence networks, combat capabilities, and resources that rivaled some government agencies. How many ships do you have? Rex asked. Enough, Ben said. How many people? More every year, Tom replied. Rex realized that the Wanderer wasn't just one ship with 37 people. It was the heart of something much larger, a movement, a new kind of human organization that operated in the spaces between the official worlds. You're not just survivors, Rex said. You're building something. We're building what the galaxy forces us to build, Kira said. A place where humans don't have to be victims. A force that protects those who can't protect themselves. An army, Rex said quietly. A family, Emma corrected. A family that includes every human who refuses to be prey. The display zoomed out to show the entire galaxy again. Rex could see how vast it really was. How many dark corners there were. How many places where bad things happen to good people. The Council protects maybe 5% of human space, David said. The safe colonies, the major trade routes, the important systems. What about the other 95%, Tom asked. Rex knew the answer. The other 95% was left to protect itself, or to be protected by people like those standing around him. So what's your real message? Rex asked. What do you want me to tell the Council? Kira walked to the display and touched it. The image changed to show Council space, the safe, protected areas where Rex had spent his entire career. Tell them that the deep is not empty, she said. Tell them that humans are learning to live in places where the Council can't reach. Tell them that these humans are becoming something new. Tell them that we're not asking for permission anymore. Ben added. Tell them that we're taking responsibility for protecting our own people. David said. And tell them, Tom said quietly, that the galaxy is about to learn what humans really are when they stop pretending to be civilized. Rex looked around the command center, at the displays showing criminal networks, at the children learning to fight, at the adults who had become something that was barely human anymore. What if the Council decides you're a threat? Rex asked. Then they'll learn the same lesson the pirates learned, Emma said simply. You'd fight the Council? We'd do whatever we have to do to protect our people, Kira replied. Rex realized he was at a crossroads. He could return to his ship and report what he had found. He could call for reinforcements and try to stop these people. He could follow protocol and treat them as criminals. Or he could do something else. There's a third option, Rex said slowly. Which is? Kira asked. I could help you. The room went silent. Even the children stopped what they were doing. Help us how? David asked. Information, resources, warning you when the Council is planning, operations in your territory. Rex took a deep breath. I could be one of your friends inside the system. Mike stared at his captain. Sir, that would be treason. Would it? Rex asked. Or would it be choosing to protect humans instead of protecting politics? Kira studied Rex for a long moment. Why would you do that? Rex thought about all the reports on his desk, all the missing people, all the crimes that happened while he filled out paperwork and waited for permission to act. Because you're right, he said finally. The galaxy is big and dangerous and full of predators, and maybe it needs predators of its own to keep it balanced. And maybe, he continued, looking out at the stars, it's time for humans to stop being prey and start being hunters. Tom smiled. Welcome to the deep, Captain Rex. Outside the window, the void stretched endlessly in all directions, but Rex no longer saw it as empty space. He saw it as home to a new kind of human. Humans who had learned that the most dangerous thing in the galaxy wasn't some alien predator. It was the sound of perfect silence, moving through the dark between stars. And now, that silence had found a new voice. The wanderer disappeared into the deep, carrying with it a message that would change everything. The empty spaces weren't empty anymore. They were full of humans who had learned to hunt, and the hunt was just beginning.